How to lower cortisol before bed naturally. If your mind feels alert at night, if you wake up in the middle of the night with no clear reason, or if your sleep feels light and never fully restorative, you are not alone in this experience. Millions of people describe the same restless pattern every night, and it often begins quietly, right after the lights go out. Sleep science explains this may not be insomnia. It is not simply stress, aging, or bad sleep habits. What's happening starts inside the brain itself. The nervous system remains partially active during the night. Cortisol stays higher than it should be after bedtime, and the body struggles to maintain deep, continuous sleep. This is why rest feels shallow, broken, or incomplete. In many cases, the brain is activating a brain safety response. This response is designed to protect the body, not sabotage sleep. But at night, it can interfere with the sleep switch. The body feels tired, yet the mind remains alert. This creates what experts call a hyperactive brain at night. Not weakness, not failure, and not something you caused. And to understand why this happens, we need to look deeper at the brain next. I'm Dr. Sarah, a sleep medicine specialist with a background in psychiatry. For years, I've worked closely with people struggling to sleep, not just occasional bad nights, but ongoing sleep disruption. People who dread bedtime because they know what's coming. They feel tired long before night even arrives. Yet once they lie down, something shifts inside the brain, and sleep no longer feels natural or automatic. I've treated individuals of all ages and backgrounds. Some are young professionals with demanding routines. Others are parents, caregivers, or retirees seeking rest. What they share is not a lack of effort or discipline. Most have already tried improving habits and schedules. They follow the advice, yet still wake during the night. And that confusion often leads to frustration and self-blame. Many of them say the exact same sentence to me. I'm exhausted, but my brain won't shut off. Their bodies feel heavy and ready for rest, but the mind stays alert, scanning and processing. Thoughts may race or simply remain switched on. Even in silence, the brain refuses to disengage. This mismatch is deeply unsettling for many people. Experts in sleep health explain that this pattern is common. It appears when the nervous system remains active at night. The body enters bed expecting rest, but the brain stays vigilant. This vigilance is not random or imagined. It follows clear biological and neurological pathways. Hormones, nerve signals, and circadian timing all play a role, and none of this means something is wrong with you. When the nervous system doesn't fully downshift, sleep fragments. Melatonin may release, but cortisol does not drop enough after bedtime. The sleep switch turns on only partially. As a result, deep sleep becomes harder to maintain. This explains frequent awakenings or very light sleep, especially during the early morning hours. The brain is still acting as if it needs to stay alert. This is where understanding the why becomes essential, because once you see what's happening biologically, everything changes. The problem stops feeling personal or mysterious. It becomes something observable and explainable, and most importantly, something that can be supported correctly. To do that, we need to look at what's happening inside the brain at night and how hormones and safety signals shape your sleep response. You feel tired throughout the entire day. Your energy feels limited. Your focus fades easily. By evening, your body clearly wants rest. Your eyes feel heavy and your muscles feel worn down. You look forward to bed, expecting relief. Sleep feels like the solution your body is asking for. Yet night does not bring the rest you expect. As soon as darkness settles, something changes. Your racing mind quietly turns on. Your thoughts may speed up or simply remain active. Your body never fully relaxes into stillness. Breathing stays slightly shallow and alert. Sleep begins that it feels light and unstable. The brain never fully lets go. You may wake up at 2, 3, or 4 in the morning. The room is silent and nothing feels wrong. Your heart is calm and your body remains still, but your mind feels awake and observant. There is no panic, just alertness. Time passes, yet deep sleep does not return easily. This pattern can repeat night after night. This experience often creates self-doubt. People wonder if they are doing something wrong. They question their habits, routines, or mindset. But this is not a lack of discipline, and it is not psychological weakness. It happens even when life feels stable and calm. The cause sits deeper than conscious thought. What's really happening is biological. The brain is struggling to remain in deep sleep. The sleep switch activates, but not fully. Cortisol remains slightly elevated during the night. Melatonin cannot do its job uninterrupted. As a result, sleep fragments into lighter stages, and the brain stays partially alert. Understanding this changes everything, because it removes blame and replaces it with clarity. This pattern follows a predictable internal process. It has nothing to do with willpower. It has everything to do with brain safety signals. And once we understand those signals, a new path opens. That path begins with what happens inside the brain at night and how hormones and safety signals shape your sleep response. Studies show that healthy sleep depends on balance, not just between bedtime and wake time, but between hormones, nerve signals, and brain rhythms. Melatonin signals the body that it is time to rest. Cortisol signals alertness and readiness to respond. The nervous system shifts between activation and calm, and the circadian rhythm coordinates all of this together. When this system is balanced, sleep flows naturally. Melatonin rises smoothly after dark. Cortisol drops to its lowest levels at night. The nervous system enters a calm, restorative state. The brain activates the sleep switch fully. Deep sleep becomes stable and continuous, and the body repairs itself without interruption. But when this balance is disrupted, sleep changes. Melatonin may still be released, but unevenly. Cortisol may stay slightly elevated after bedtime. The nervous system does not fully downshift. The circadian rhythm loses precision, and the brain struggles to hold deep sleep. This is when sleep becomes fragile.
Instead of staying asleep, the brain reacts. It begins monitoring the environment more closely. This happens below conscious awareness. The brain partially wakes as a safety measure, not because danger exists, but because the system is unsure it is safe. This response is automatic and protective. The deep sleep signal weakens during the night. Sleep cycles shorten and become lighter. The brain shifts toward vigilance. Small internal changes trigger awakenings, often during the early morning hours when cortisol naturally begins to rise. The brain becomes more sensitive at this time. This process is not random or imagined. It follows predictable biological rules. Experts in sleep health recognize this pattern clearly. It explains why awakenings feel sudden but calm, why the body is tired but the mind is alert, and why sleep feels difficult to maintain. To understand this fully, we need to name this response next. Sleep science refers to this pattern as the Neural Sleep Inhibition Response. This term describes a specific brain state at night. It is not a diagnosis or a disorder. It is a functional response of the nervous system, one that appears when the brain remains on guard, especially during the hours meant for deep rest. In this response, the brain does not fully disengage. It stays partially alert while the body lies still. Cortisol remains slightly elevated after bedtime, not enough to fully wake you up, but enough to interfere with deep sleep. The nervous system hovers between rest and vigilance. This creates unstable and fragmented sleep cycles. At the same time, the sleep switch struggles to activate. The brain attempts to enter deep sleep, but the signal cannot stay locked in place. Small internal cues trigger partial awakenings. The brain keeps checking for safety even when the environment is quiet and calm. This happens without conscious control. People experience this response in different ways. Some wake up at the same time every night. Others struggle to fall back asleep once awakened. Some describe light sleep that never feels restorative. Others feel alert despite physical exhaustion. The symptoms vary from person to person, but the underlying mechanism is the same. This is not the brain malfunctioning. It is the brain doing what it was designed to do: protect the body when safety feels uncertain. At night, this becomes the brain's safety response. The problem is not the response itself, it is that the response stays active too long and interferes with deep, continuous sleep. Once this mechanism is named, confusion fades. The pattern becomes easier to recognize. It no longer feels random or personal. There is a clear reason sleep keeps breaking and a clear system involved in that process. The next step is understanding why the brain stays in this mode and what keeps signaling it to remain alert at night. Imagine your brain as a night security system. Its job is to protect you while you rest. When everything feels safe, the system powers down. The lights dim, the alarms disengage, the brain reduces monitoring and control. This allows the body to shift into recovery mode. Sleep becomes deep, steady, and restorative. When the brain feels safe, biology follows. Melatonin rises smoothly after darkness. Cortisol stays low through most of the night. The nervous system enters a calm state. The sleep switch remains fully engaged. The deep sleep signal stays stable, and the body repairs itself without interruption. But when the brain does not feel fully safe, things change. The security system never completely shuts off. The alarm stays partially active in the background. The brain keeps scanning even during sleep. Cortisol remains just high enough to interfere. Melatonin cannot maintain deep sleep on its own. Sleep becomes lighter and easier to interrupt. In this state, the brain keeps checking the environment, not because danger is present, but because safety has not been fully confirmed. This checking happens automatically and silently. You may not feel anxious or stressed, yet the brain remains on standby, ready to wake you if needed. This response is far more common than people realize. It happens to individuals of all ages, even those with calm lives and good habits. It is not caused by weakness or poor discipline, and it is not something you consciously create. It is a learned biological response designed to protect, not to punish. Understanding this brings relief for many people because it removes blame from the equation. Your brain is not broken or failing, it is responding to internal safety signals, signals shaped by hormones, rhythm, and the nervous system. And once we understand what influences those signals, things shift. That begins with what keeps the brain from feeling safe at night. Over time, fragmented sleep begins to affect daily life. Even when total hours in bed seem sufficient, the body misses critical stages of deep sleep. Rest no longer feels complete or satisfying. Energy fades faster throughout the day. Simple tasks begin to feel more demanding, and the sense of true recovery disappears. Constant fatigue is often the first sign, not extreme exhaustion, but a steady low energy. The body feels heavy even after a full night in bed. Morning stiffness lingers longer than it should. Caffeine becomes more necessary just to function, yet energy never fully stabilizes because deep sleep was repeatedly interrupted. Difficulty focusing also follows gradually. Attention drifts more easily during conversations. Memory feels less sharp than it used to be. Decision-making becomes slower and more effortful. The brain feels busy but inefficient. This is not a motivation issue. It reflects a brain that never fully powered down at night. Mood changes can also appear gradually. Irritability increases without clear reason. Patience feels thinner than before. Small problems feel larger than they should. Emotional resilience drops over time. This happens quietly without obvious warning, and many people blame stress or personality instead. There is also a persistent feeling of never fully resting. Even after sleep, the body feels unfinished. Naps may help slightly, but not completely. The sense of renewal is missing. Doctor-approved sleep research shows this pattern clearly, not because the body is broken, but because the brain remains overstimulated at night.
This understanding is important because it reframes the entire experience. The problem is not effort or willpower. It is a nervous system stuck in alert mode. And when this alert state continues, symptoms accumulate. To change the outcome, the brain must receive different signals. And that brings us to what allows the brain to calm itself again. The good news is this: the brain is adaptable by design. It is constantly learning from signals it receives. Day and night, it adjusts based on experience. This ability is known as brain plasticity, and it plays a powerful role in sleep regulation, even after long periods of disrupted rest. Sleep science explains that the brain responds to patterns. When the nervous system receives consistent signals of safety, especially during the evening and nighttime hours, the brain begins to reduce its level of alertness. Cortisol can lower naturally before bed, melatonin can rise more smoothly, and the sleep switch becomes easier to activate. These changes do not require forcing the body. They happen when the environment and signals align. The brain recognizes that nighttime is no longer a threat and slowly releases its protective stance. This process happens gradually and naturally, without shock or suppression, and without fighting the body's biology. The neural sleep inhibition response is not permanent. It is a learned state, not a fixed condition. The brain can unlearn it over time, just as it learned to stay alert at night. This brings relief to many people because it means the pattern can shift, no matter how long it has been present. What matters most is consistency. The brain responds to repeated calm signals, signals that support the nervous system, signals that reinforce circadian rhythm, and signals that help the brain feel safe again. When these are present, sleep begins to change, often more gently than people expect. This creates a new possibility, one that does not rely on force or medication, but on supporting the brain's natural process. To do that effectively, the right type of support matters. Support that works with hormones and the nervous system, and that leads directly into how sleep can be supported naturally, which is exactly what we'll explore next. The goal is not forcing sleep to happen, and it is not sedating the brain into shutdown. Those approaches often ignore how sleep truly works. Sleep is not something the brain can be commanded into. It is a state the brain allows when conditions feel right, when safety signals outweigh alert signals, and when the nervous system is supported, not suppressed. True sleep support starts with calming the nervous system. This means helping the brain exit constant vigilance, reducing background alertness before bedtime, allowing breathing, heart rate, and tension to soften. When the nervous system calms, the brain listens. It becomes more receptive to rest signals and less reactive to small internal changes. Another key factor is supporting melatonin production. Melatonin is not a sleeping pill. It is a timing signal for the brain.
It tells the body when night has truly begun. When melatonin rises at the right time, sleep deepens. When it is disrupted, sleep becomes fragile. Supporting this signal is essential for staying asleep. Reducing nighttime cortisol is equally important. Cortisol should be low during most of the night, but when the brain feels uncertain, it stays elevated. Even small elevations can interrupt deep sleep. Lowering cortisol naturally allows the brain to relax. This makes awakenings less frequent and less intense, and supports longer, more stable sleep cycles. All of this must align with the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm acts as the brain's internal clock. It coordinates hormones, temperature, and alertness. When it is aligned, the body knows when to rest. When it is confused, the brain stays alert at night. Supporting rhythm brings predictability back to sleep, and predictability signals safety to the brain. When these elements come together, something shifts. The brain no longer feels the need to stay on guard. The deep sleep signal becomes more stable. The sleep switch begins to engage fully again. Sleep is no longer something you chase. It becomes a natural response to the right conditions. And next, we'll look at what kind of support helps make this possible. That's why many people now choose a different approach, not forcing sleep and not shutting the brain down, but using a doctor-approved natural sleep support, one designed to work with the brain's biology instead of fighting the nervous system at night. This type of support respects hormones and rhythm and focuses on helping the brain feel safe enough to rest. This kind of support is meant to be gentle. It complements the body's natural sleep process, helping calm the nervous system before bed, supporting melatonin at the right time, and encouraging cortisol to lower naturally at night. Nothing artificial or aggressive, just signals the brain understands and responds to. For those who want to explore this option, the support discussed here is available simply. You'll find it in the first pinned comment below. That's where the details are clearly explained, so you can review them at your own pace, without pressure or urgency, and with full transparency. But this is only part of the picture. Understanding how to calm the brain matters just as much, because knowledge changes how the nervous system responds. That's why there is a follow-up video prepared for you. It will be pinned at the end of this video as well, and it builds directly on what you've learned so far, step by step, without overwhelm. In that next video, I explain exactly what helps, how to calm a hyperactive brain at night, how to reduce alert signals before sleep, and how to restore the deep sleep signal naturally. Everything is broken down in a clear, practical way, so the brain can begin to respond differently at night, and sleep can feel less like a struggle. Make sure to watch that next video carefully. It connects every piece we discussed here, from cortisol and melatonin to the nervous system and circadian rhythm. It shows how these elements work together and why timing and signals matter so much, because what comes next is where real change begins.